If you're passionate about change and love a good laugh, then you need to join Chuck and Joe. Chuck and Joe are a dynamic husband and wife duo, tackling the biggest issues across the nation and around the globe. With a blend of wit and wisdom, they dive deep into current events, giving you the lowdown with a side of humor. They're not just talking heads, they're your fellow freedom fighters, committed to sparking meaningful conversations. From politics to social justice, no topic is off limits. So hit that subscribe button and join the freedom fighter community today. Let's laugh, learn, and fight for a better world together. Welcome to the Freedom Fighters podcast, where serious meets funny, just like Chuck and Joe.
Hi, this is Chuck and Joe and the Freedom Fighters podcast. Thank you for joining me today. It is Monday, February 23rd, 2026, in the great land of America. Before I get started, I'd like to tell you a few things. First of all, I was going to do segment 2 today on how the SAVE Act helps American citizens and where the senators stand on that. I'm going to save that for either tomorrow or for Wednesday on my podcast. I found some other things that I need to report to you that are very important, and we need to send this across America, everyone. So if you would like to hit the like button or the subscribe button for me, I would surely appreciate it. We need to send it out across America for everyone to hear this. Please, let's send this viral and let everyone hear this. Like I said, it's one of my most important podcasts. Hope that everyone pays attention to it. If you don't want to subscribe, that's fine, but please hit that like button. It helps us tremendously, more than you could know. If you have any comments, please put them down below today. If you'd like, you can also put them at the Freedom Fighters Podcast at gmail.com. The information for that will be in the description. Also, our website for hacks, HACS, hacks, How About Common Sense, is almost up. I hope that you'll join me. If you have any talents that you can add, we are going to get a day across America for MAGA, for Republicans, for liberals, for anyone, even Democrats. They'd like to join us to just show our approval for President Trump and show that we appreciate what's going on, and to let the Democrats know, and the blue states and cities, that we're not going to tolerate this. We're Americans. So if you can offer anything, let us know. Again, please put that down below in the comments, or please take it to the Freedom Fighters Podcast at gmail.com. All right, I want to get started, folks. I'm going to tell you today about something that's very, very disturbing. North Carolina, I am bringing this home to you. Sure, you may know this, but if you don't, I'm going to make it known to you. And for the rest of you, this is a very important lesson and something that we have got to stop. Okay? A Muslim Democrat is running unopposed in North Carolina GOP primary. Now, GOP primary, she's a Democrat, because no one else is running against her. Now, if you don't understand that, that means that a Democrat is running in the GOP, which is the Republican side, against a Democrat, even though she's running on the Republican ticket. Everyone needs to be aware of this, especially because this could affect us all, and not voting for her is not going to help. That's what they're planning on and hoping for. Okay? She's running as a Republican against a Democrat, even though she's a Democrat, because in North Carolina, rules allow roughly 40% of voters to choose either party's ballot and permit registered Democrats to switch to a Republican primary 25 days before the election. Now, I have never heard of anything so crazy. I guess you can switch as a Democrat 25 days before an election to the opposite ticket and run, as well as the Republicans could switch to a Democratic ticket 25 days before the primary and run. However, That's not happened with the Republicans. That has happened, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, with the Democrats. So what's happening is they have a Democrat running on the Democratic ticket, and they have a Democrat running on the Republican ticket in the primary. Could cost us a Senate seat, everyone. They know she won't be voted for, meaning the Democrats, or they think that she won't. So they're allowing Sophia Chitlik, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's Sophia Chitlik, Sophia Chitlik, Chitlik, to win. But either way, they're going to have a Democrat in if we don't stop this. Now, the Muslim's name, and when I say Muslim, let's think Somalian, everyone. LaKeshia Alston. Again, the Muslim's name is LaKeshia Alston. And this is for Senate race district number 22. Again, for Senate race district number 22 in North Carolina. We need someone to jump in on either ticket as a true Republican. Get in there. Run against them. You can do it. We need you to fight. We have got to win the primary, everyone. We've got to keep the Senate seats. We've got to keep the House seats. Because if we don't, it's going to cost us America. The Democrats are playing very dirty right now with lots of things that I'm bringing to you in the next 2 weeks. So you can see exactly how they stole the 2020 election and how they're trying to steal this election, this primary. Now, hit the like button and spread this. Tell me down there, do you think they should be allowed to do this? I certainly don't. And if not, tell me what you think. And if you are in North Carolina especially, I'd love to hear from you. Give me a comment down there. Let me know what you're finding out, what you're hearing, and if we have yet added anyone to the Republican ticket. We need to get in and tell the Republicans in that county they need to get someone in there, folks. And I don't care who you are, jump in. Jump in. You can't be any worse than anyone, let's face it, that's in Congress now, or anyone that's running. This needs to go viral. We're under attack, everyone. We're under attack. Now, I'm going to bring you a little bit of news to go along with this. It has to do with our elections. Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway is asking the courts to bar the federal government from counting immigrants living in the country illegally when determining congressional representation and federal funding. A move, she argued, that could shift political power among the states for decades. They're challenging the current census policy, which, as you know, the current census policy is you count everyone in the U.S. We're trying to get that recounted now, even before the primaries, everyone, because there are over 20 million illegals still in the United States. And right now, if we don't bar down and get things done, they're going to be able to vote in our primary and in our elections. What we did find out from Elon, which everyone's calling him a liar, and he's not. Elon was head of Doge, and he knows how to look this up. But you can look it up also. All right? There were 590,000 in 21, 964,000 in 22, 2.1 million in 23, and 1.3 million in 24 immigrants who came to the United States and were voting in our elections. So you can see how this was going up. Some Americans did vote, or excuse me, some of them did vote, and they voted illegally because they were given driver's license illegally. If you stay with me this week, you'll understand how that was done. And just to let you know, Social Security has given out over 5 million, and I say 5 million Social Security cards to vetted immigrants. They showed no proof of citizenship, no proof of ID. So they could have gotten one or more, who knows, one or more Social Security cards, which allowed them to get one or more IDs. They could be voting. Now, we already knew about those 5 million, but we did not know about the other 6 million, which Elon found. And these have yet to be counted for. So altogether, folks, there's over 11 million illegal immigrants that are going to be trying to vote in our elections. Now, these are ones, like I said, with proof of citizenship, even though they gave no proof of citizenship. And this has been proven, and it is going to go in front of the courts. Now, the Attorney General, Catherine Hanaway, like I said, filed this. What I found out in checking up on this, and from True Life News, I found out that America First lawsuits filed against this and a couple of other things to do with the elections in Florida, in Tampa to be exact. And the reason that it was done there, it was done strategically there, is because President Trump and his administration knew that there is a very good chance that this could go to the Supreme Court. And we wanted it to be done fairly. Therefore, he chose the great state of Florida and the great city of Tampa to take this on. Now, it has been filed, and our attorneys are positive that we have more than enough information from the stolen elections in 2020. All the papers are going to be given here. But an equivalent lawsuit was filed against us from the great state of Georgia. Hello, Georgia. Caused us so many trouble with these elections. We all know who lives there and the stuff that Trump went through there, okay? Well, what we found out is they filed to get back the boxes of information that was taken by the FBI not but a couple of weeks ago. All those boxes were stored, and the FBI did a sneak raid to grab them so that all the evidence that was used from the 2020 election, not just in Georgia, but around the United States, could be gotten so that we could take it to a court to prove what had happened, to prove how it was stolen, and not only stolen, to prove what was done and make it so that it could never happen again. And folks, they're fighting us, okay? So what our America First lawsuit is to get, to make so that these people cannot get this information back, and that they have to hand over I believe it was 6 boxes. I'm not exactly sure, but it was may even be more boxes than that of information that was hidden before the FBI could get there, because we had a bad FBI leader there who tipped people off, and I kid you not, tipped people off, our FBI headquarters there, tipped them off to let them know we were coming. Fortunately, we were able to get most of the boxes, but not all. But now they have filed a counter lawsuit against us, or an original lawsuit. We filed a counter lawsuit to make so that they cannot get our boxes back, and we want theirs. We are not sweating it, though, folks. Even if this has to go to the Supreme Court, the government's in a good place. We have tons of information. We have tons of people that have given their lives, their testimonies, their papers, and lots of proof to show what has gone on. Now, in a brief that was filed in this lawsuit by us, it was said to the courts that they don't have the Fourth Amendment rights to do this, meaning Georgia. And they don't have any leg to stand on. Not to mention, they also have a callous disregard. They have no constitutional rights And this actually went in front of a magistrate, not once, but twice. And he said the warrant to get these papers, election notes, everything that was done during this election legally. Now they have threatened if they don't get their way to do things illegally. What a big surprise. But as usual, Trump has the goods. He has the way to prove it. But we are going through our courts, and he does follow the rules. America, it's up to us to back our president. They're not just trying to make things tough on President Trump. They're trying to take away our greatest asset of being an American, and that is the right to vote. What our forefathers came to this country to get rid of, tyranny, to get rid of everything that Britain had put upon our forefathers. Taxation without representation. A country that forced their religion upon us. So religious freedom. And the freedom to become who you wanted, when you wanted to, where you wanted to. The right to marry who you wanted to. All those great rights that we enjoy. And we came long ago from overseas, from Great Britain. Folks, we've got to back President Trump. Now, if it's not bad enough that all this is going on, you're all aware that this weekend, a young man tried to kill President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. I have a lot of things to say about this, but you all know what happened to a certain degree. And if you don't, I'm going to give you a rundown a little bit. I'm going to say, first off, that this young man I feel so very sad for. He's from Generation Z again. If you're not noticing, there seems to be a rush from Generation Z to kill people anymore. That's their answer to fixing problems. And it's not the answer. And for all you Generation Z young men and young women, we still love you. All of America still loves you. And we want you to know that you don't have to be discouraged. I know it's a tough time out there. But we back you. We understand that right now times are tough. Just hang in there. Put God first. Put your families in mind. Most of all, learn to love yourself. Give back to your communities. Get involved in things. And I don't care what that is. Get involved in them. As long as you're not hurting people. Get involved. You're beautiful children that have had a really crappy world to begin your lives in. But I'm here to tell you, Generation X, the baby boomers, all of us really do care about you, even if you believe we don't. Now, as far as this young man goes, his name was Alston Tucker Martin. He was a 21-year-old male. And from what I've been reading, it looks like he had a brother that was in the United States Army. It also looks like he came from a family that was MAGA. And it had nothing, it looks like, to really do with what we've seen so far with, like, obviously MAGA or Democrats or Republicans. I think he was just plain out frustrated with the whole democratic process. And I don't think that he's wrong. It's frustrating and it's very hard for young people to see and to know how wonderful our country can be when things are done properly. Now, what I'm going to tell you is, he's from North Carolina, which is where we started out in this podcast at. And it looks like there's a lot of bad things going on in North Carolina. A lot of bad things. Come on, North Carolina, you can straighten these things out. Help your young people and get these voter things, looked at. Jump in. Like I said, Republicans, get your heinies over there and get into this race. Anyone can do it. It looks like he had a brother, like I said, in the Army. And what happened was he left his house, it looks like sometime Saturday. Or excuse me, before Saturday, something like Thursday or Friday, I believe they said. But his mother actually and his family reported him missing sometime Saturday. It looks like along the way, he may have stopped and bought a shotgun because they found the box in the car. They also found in his car, which just breaks my heart, he was an artist. They found drawings that he had done, and it appears that he likes to do black and white drawings the most, and most of them of like golf courses around North Carolina. And he was a very good artist. And most artists, as you may know, they're not real analytical. Their brain is in the arts, which is beautiful. And it makes them usually not people that would go out and commit such a crime, which just tells me how frustrated that this young man must have been. Well, anyway, he proceeded to Mar-a-Lago. And as you know, President Trump wasn't at Mar-a-Lago this weekend. He was hosting in Washington, D.C., a governor's convention. And him and his wife had decided to stay the First Lady in Washington this weekend. Number one, that tells me that this gunman is very naive. He didn't even really know where the president was. And it really makes me wonder if he even really wanted to hurt anybody. Because he didn't scout this out. He didn't check this out. It was all a last minute, something that was done. But I'm afraid all this rhetoric on TV of hate being pushed by the Democrats is ridiculous. Sometimes the Republicans. It needs to stop, everyone. It needs to stop. A young man's life was taken. What he did was, when a vehicle was coming out of the gate, he rammed the gate, went inside. And of course, there's less Secret Service there over the weekend because the president wasn't there. And when he's there, there's a lot more. But there was a limited staff there. They ran over hearing the commotions. By this time, my understanding is that he was out walking. Already had the gun in his hand. He also had gas, a gas can with gas in it. And he was walking, I guess, towards the president's home. They yelled at him to stop. And he did. He stopped. They told him to drop everything. He set down the gas can. He didn't set the gun down. He turned around and he didn't shoot, but he pointed it. And to me, that tells me again, I don't think he wanted to hurt anybody. But the Secret Service aren't expected to know that, or the Palm Beach police. A shotgun was pointed at them. Their guns were pulled and bullets were fired. The young man died. And I'm going to tell everyone right now, this young man could have been our son. It could have been our brother, our uncle, our dad. It could have been our grandchild. And he's dead because of all the politics that are going on in this world, in America. We need to give hope to this generation. What has happened to America is beyond belief. And we, as Generation X and all the baby boomers and all of our grandparents that's still alive, we need to get out there Our grandparents were alive at the time of the Great Depression. They went through a terrible time in America also. Our parents grew up during that Great Depression, which are the baby boomers. They had a rough time growing up. They didn't have much. But they gave to us, which is Generation X. We then in turn gave more to our children than they gave to theirs. But what's happened in the process of all this is everyone's blocked God out. Everyone's forgotten what morals are and what it means to be kind to each other and to follow rules. Because in any successful society, you have to have rules, you have to have governing, and you have to have a police force. Or we're a third world country. Right now, Mexico is on fire. The cartel is taking over. They're on our border. Canada is buddy-buddy with Russia. They're on our doorstep. Alaska had planes from the United States flown there this past weekend because Russia had a bunch of planes over Alaska. They're on our doorstep, everybody. And what are we doing? We're fighting with each other. It's got to stop. Democrats, stop. Think about what you're doing. When I was younger, you were the party of common sense, not the Republicans. What has happened to you? You don't even have a great leader right now. And don't tell me AOC or Newsom. They're leaders. All they want to do is put more government in our lives, more immigrants so that they can get more federal funding so that they can then line their pockets. And America is just going down. The Republicans, come on. You GOPs that have been in there for 30 or 40 years. Mitch McConnell, I'm talking to you too. Hey, you are a disgrace. The SAVE Act has got to go through. Come on, Thune. Where are your balls, buddy? And I'm sorry to be direct, but America's under attack, and right now, it's on the inside. But the outside's coming. And if we don't get it together and start helping our president and becoming a one generation, a generation that acts together, old and poor, young and old, rich, poor, I don't care, Catholics, Muslims, Mexicans, blacks, whites, we all have to come together because more than anything, we're Americans. And our freedom is under attack. Now, I'm just a podcaster, putting my point out there. But I'll tell you what I am. And it's not just a just. I'm an American. I had family that fought in every war. I have family that has served in this nation endlessly and tirelessly. And I will defend my nation to my death. Just as I will defend my God, my family. But I also would defend any American who against anyone, foreign or domestic, that causes harm to anyone I love or to any American. Now I'm going to jump off my high horse today, folks. So I have a lot more to say. But I think you need to dwell on this. The SAVE Act needs to be passed. Thune needs to not listen to Mitch McConnell. And Mitch McConnell, you need to get the hell out the door. You're so old, I don't even think it's you putting up the fight. It is the people in your office, which is absolutely ludicrous. That's what we argued about Biden, that he wasn't doing his job himself the last many years. You people that are doing this to him, there's a thing called treason, and you can pay for it with your life. And I pray to my God that you get caught. I do. Because you deserve it. And you lobbyists, shame on you. Soon, stand up. And I don't care, senators, what you have to do. You pass the SAVE Act. You do whatever you have to do. I don't care which thing you have to use to get it onto that floor. I don't care which filibuster, whether it's a talking filibuster, whether it is a zombie filibuster, I think that is the talking, or just a regular filibuster, but I don't know. We either need to crush that filibuster or we need to do something, because our land, our country, our families, and most of our lives as American is on the line. So all you freedom fighters out there, everyone that has written me, everyone that has joined our podcast, please, I ask you, pass this on. We need to back the Save America Act. We need to fight. And everyone going to win. Don't give up. That's what they want. I know things are hard right now, but we can do it. More than 3/4 of this country voted for that man that is in office right now. President Trump didn't need this job, and he certainly didn't need the money, but he took it on. Almost lost his life in Pennsylvania. Almost lost his life at Mar-a-Lago twice now. I think the least that any senator and House member can do is back this man. And I think anything that Americans can do would help. But most of all, back him. Because he's given up everything for us. Now it's time for us to give up everything for America. Good night, freedom fighters. From Chuck and Joe and the freedom fighters. I will talk to you Wednesday. Be safe.